Hello and welcome back to the show. My name's Relman. This is Do All the Things. On today's episode, continuing Scrapido Lights, the project where I light up my CN passenger consist. Today, we are going to try to put Tomar shoes on a steam generator. Stay tuned. So if you've been following the comedy, you know that I put together a passenger consist of basically CN rail cars, except some of them were scrap that I fixed up, and some of them were new, but kind of not period correct. It's a Heinz 57. It's a mishmash of different cars. But one thing they all have in common is I put lighting, regulated LED lighting in each and every car, so it's well lit. But the problem is there's a dark spot. There's a dark spot right near the beginning because I have a well-lit lead engine and then I have a well-lit consist, but my B unit and my steam generator are not lit. So I want to correct that just to really finish it off. So here we have the steam generator car. And if you're unfamiliar with that, well, I don't blame you because it's something that hasn't been used in a long time. What happened in human history is at some point they made passenger cars, of course, and as you would imagine, especially up here in Canada, they put heaters in those passenger cars, and how they heated them was by siphoning just a little bit of steam from the steam locomotive and pumping it through radiators in the car. So they were steam heated, similar to how some hydronic furnaces might work in your home. Now the problem happened is when they started coming out with diesel engines don't make steam, so they're like, well, how the heck are we gonna heat our cars? So they came up with a steam generator car. After a while, they started putting these steam generators, building them into the locomotives. Some were built right off the factory in the beginning, but in some cases we need more train service today, but we don't have enough locomotives with steam generators. Oh, well, we'll throw one of these. So what is a steam generator? It is essentially a boiler room on wheels. That's it. Simple. A boiler room on wheels that would create steam heat to heat the passenger consist when they were running diesel engines that had no way to do it. Nowadays, it's all electrical because, as you know, a diesel engine puts out a lot of wattage, so they just take some of that power and they use it to run electric heat. In some cases, the passenger locomotives might have an extra auxiliary engine and generator built into them. And you know what? I think there are, in some cases, modern equivalents of the steam generator cars where they have a car that just has a big electrical generator in it. So anyway, this guy is some homebrew jobby. I bought this used on eBay for $15. It has some very fragile parts that I haven't bothered to reattach because unfortunately I do have the philosophy if it's just gonna break off that easily, I don't want it. So I don't know, maybe I'll tack on what's left of these custom stirrups, but this is definitely, like you could tell, someone cut a hole and fitted a little door and fitted a little vent and, decaled it on themselves. And, it's actually not bad. I feel lucky to own this, especially I only paid $15 for it and it's like a completely custom jobby. Now enter the trucks. These trucks look unlike any other truck I've seen on any of my rolling stock so far. So if we look at a photo of a legit steam generator car, yeah, they do have trucks kind of like this that don't look like normal freight rolling stock. Sometimes the story is the trucks are set up for the one weight, whereas freight trucks are set up for multiple weights or actually way more weight. These almost remind me of passenger car trucks. I don't know, but it's a nice little detail that whoever built this made a point to put on there. So it's kind of like, well, I'm gonna try to keep them instead of just replacing them straight up with power trucks. This guy just pops apart like that. That's one of the annoying things about it. Inside, we have these little kind of funnels. They glued some little tube in there. That might cause a problem for us because it's gonna be hard to get light out of a tube. We're gonna worry about that after. We need to get power onto these trucks. Enter the Tomar shoes. You might have seen these at, whatever retailer website you go to buy parts off of. I saw them, I'm like, really? How do those work? Tomar 804. I have no idea whether or not this is something that still exists or if this is just like really old stock. And we could go ahead and try to look up online what the frick these things are, but I can't find any information on them. They don't have online published instructions. So it's another one of those silly things that you have no friggin' clue what you're getting until you actually buy them. And for $3, it's not a huge loss. And I imagine this is another one of those best intention accessories that some people might buy and be like, oh yeah, I gotta put some light on my whatever, my caboose. And then, well, they get the kit and they're like, you know what I mean? So when you get it, you finally get instructions, very old school instructions. Here. If you're interested in them, here, you can freeze frame. I'll swing by it like this. Now, oh, this is the second page even. This isn't even the first page of instructions. Oh, you're gonna miss out the first page. Okay, try checking that out. And then there's the diagrams. Then here's the first page of instructions. Drill a 1/32 hole, you're gonna notice right there. Because that is one thing that you're not prepared for when you buy this. It's not until you get the instructions that you realize, oh, I'm gonna need a specialty drill bit for the tiny, tiny little screws that I need to thread this thing for. Okay then, that's great. I'm gonna dump this out and hope not to lose anything. Tiny little machine screws. Does it say what thread they are? I guess some railroad modelers might already have the correct parts to do small stuff like this in stock. Oh, it's a 00-90 thread screw. Actually, I don't even know if it's a 1/32, so scratch that. It's mentioning a bunch. I don't feel like RTFMing right now. Either way, I measured it and I ordered some specialty drill bits just for it. Fortunately, on a follow-up order, TMR Distributing, a website that I buy a lot of parts from, they have tiny drill bits in stock. I got a 70, 61, 74. Most of these are, you know, like this is a really tiny one. That's for fixing holes that for the handrails on blue boxes. I think 70 is for some weird wire that I have. I think it's the number 61 that I need. It says on there 58, which should theoretically be even a bit bigger. What does this measure to? 0.037 of an inch. And what's our screw? 0.044. So that should be close enough because I didn't buy a tap. I don't think they even had a 0090 tap. So good luck with that. Now the general idea with these shoes is that they sit on your truck, half of it, you kind of mount it there, and then the other half just kind of hovers right there. And it's gonna, in some way, shape, or form, make contact with the track. I think I might have to cut this one down a little bit. So let's get these trucks off and see if we can fit this a little bit better. My initial plan was to just get KD 518 metal trucks, put metal wheels on them, and then you can easily kind of rip power from them. But they're a very different style of truck. I might have to cut these down a scotch. It's hard to like just feel this out. Like this is gonna be tricky. And then good luck accessing your screw after you've mounted it. You kind of have to make it so that you can get it on and off. But as you can see, like the alignment's pretty good. I don't see why it wouldn't work. And like it's not a tough spring, so it's not gonna push your car off the track. My gut tells me it needs to be just like, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch shorter, 1 millimeter shorter. It's really, I've never done this before, so your guess is as good as mine. It's almost like it just needs a little bit of a tweak in there so it sits a bit flatter and you've got it compressed down. No, it needs to be just a touch shorter. So I guess you can cut this to length. I got these precision side cutters. Just nip a little bit off at a time. I think that'd be better right there. Yeah, okay, I'm happy with that. I don't want to risk cutting it down more. Okay, so we have to screw this onto the truck now, some way, somehow. I guess I'm gonna put it right in the center there. I guess we need to figure out some method of score marking this. So I'm gonna kind of hold it into place. It'd be like, well, like a screw right here. Okay, so now how do I drill a hole to something that tiny? Oh boy. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a piece of scrap wood and a bit of Scotch tape and just tape it down to the wood, just like that. I can see right where I want my hole to be. And if I try to put a punch to that, it's just gonna devastate it. Maybe a little prick with a pin. It is a soft material. It actually worked pretty well. Very handy tool for working on this small stuff. It's an impact drill adapter. So you can put a drill bit in an impact screwdriver, but I just use it as a hand drill, just like a spinning top. It's very good for some of this delicate work where like if you try to use a power drill, it's like, and you do it wrong, and you you chowder up your piece. Okay, we're through. We got a pretty clean hole. Except I forgot one thing. And that is I need the hole in this thing to be slightly bigger than the screw so the screw can smoothly go through it. I do have a slightly bigger drill bit here, which, like, I'm worried I don't want to make the hole too big. If I just kind of give it a reaming, it'll make it a bit bigger without making it bigger. We need, like, fine tools to work on this. Yeah, it's gonna take more than that to get that screw through that hole. Actually, it's not too shabby. Oh boy, don't drop this thing. Now, this is easy on a big block of wood, but I just kind of simulated it here now. So I know I'm going to be able to get it through the copper piece easy enough, but I need to get a hole drilled in the truck now. So it's like we need to get that to stay where we need it to be. Carefully. Okay. Score it out. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, we got a nice score mark there now. I'll just send her home. All right. So now let's see if we can actually get that screwed on there, knowing that we're gonna have to mount this back on. Oh boy. What we might wanna do is pre-screw it into this piece here, because I know it's gonna be tricky. So we'll get the screw started through the copper piece, and then we should be able to back this out some way. Now let's see if we can't get it on there. Oh boy. All right, so it's tight into the plastic, which is good because we're cutting a thread with this screw. You know what? It is reasonably tight. I'm not hating this. As long as we don't over torque it once we bottom out the screw, I think that should work just fine. Yeah. Okay. That's not too bad. We just have to do that whole process for the other truck. The process should be identical, but again, you kind of want to double check your spacing. Put it up to a piece of rail, see where the contact touches. This one actually fits a little bit better than the last one. Still gonna give it a little bit of a snoot here. Yeah, I'll shave just a touch off the end just like I did the other one. Just a touch. And then start this process over again. Position it so I can score mark it. Pin prick center, finger drill, pop a screw through there, test pre-fit it. Yeah, remove, get the truck, line it up right where we want it, score the hole, then drill the truck. All right, so the car itself. We got a nice circumstance of, okay, that sub part comes off. We have a nice metal block underneath here. So we have to penetrate that to make wire holes. So a truck with the Tomar is gonna sit somewhere in here. I'm guessing I'm gonna want the wire hole like right directly center there somewhere. I don't think I want it offset. Like, I tend to like to give a bit of a loop around. I don't know if that's gonna be practical. Then our board, it has to clear our board. It will. You gotta think about wire geometry here. Cause like the wire's gotta not interfere with the wheel, but then have enough flex. And this is the wiring they give you, which I don't know if I would count. Oh yeah, I could see getting 4 installs out of this. I guess I would solder it at the base here somewhere. And then I might consider looping it around underneath. Then yeah, we'll go dead center. Punch a hole right about where I want it to go. Guess I'm gonna use whatever size this is. We're drilling through metal. I want to do really clean work. So I'm gonna bust out Pressy Boy real quick. So that should be more than big enough to get a wire through now. The only thing we gotta watch out for is the sharp edges now on that edge. They're actually pretty clean. Clean them up a bit with a file. On this side, for lack of better options, steel of a blade is often harder than the steel of whatever this is, so we can carefully deburr it just like this. Now, don't want to file this side because, you know, aesthetics. Now, in order for this to fail, we would need the wires to short through both of those holes, so you stick a little bit of glue in there after. You know, you can even, what you can do is you can get some CA or some whatever glue you like to use and just coat the inside of this, and it'll make a little, you know, insulated surface for it. Gotta get our glue gun going. Almost forgot. Okay, so now I think we can get these trucks mounted on there, and then like after we mount them, then we gotta solder the wires. So it's not gonna be easy to get these trucks on and off after. That's just the name of this game. Fortunately, I can bottom this out, and they have the appropriate amount of weeble wobble. Get our shoe and get our screw. And once again, I'm gonna start my screw through my shoe using the hole in the wood. Now, this tricky part here. Not even sure how to hold my tweezers to get that on. Well, and of course, this wants to rotate away on us. Oh, it's going. This isn't as hard as I thought it would be. You know, I think if you got some experience working on detail and the correct tools, yeah, you're gonna have no problem getting one of these on. All right, so the fancy wire. This is wire that's so tiny, you gotta kind of strip it with your fingers, right? Not even. I don't have a wire stripper for a wire this tiny. I don't think. Can I do it with this if I adjust on it? Yes. Okay. So tiny little wire. Gonna tin on it with my tiniest tip. I might actually need flux for this because the connections are so tiny. And we gotta get it onto here without melting any plastic. Oh, that's the great thing about this copper. No problem there. Okay, this is going a lot smoother than I anticipated. I gotta get the wire down through the hole. So we got ourselves a bit of a relief loop here. That's the way I like to do it, because then it can move and not stress out the end. And it shouldn't really get in the way of any of the, we could probably pull it a little bit tighter, and it shouldn't get in the way of any of the wheels. So for the other side, well, let's get that truck mounted. So we want the phase to oppose, right? So that truck is faced this way, we need that truck to face that way. And of course, I gotta take this off so I can get the screw into place. Oi, well that's convenient. All right, let's just roll with that. That also means this might move on us. Seems we gotta loosen this by some margin here. The shoe's moving with us here. Gotta get that shoe back into place. You know, it's pretty good even though I don't have a tap. So I'm gonna do the trick that saves me wasting wire. And I'm just gonna take the continuous loop, poke it through the other side, and wrap it around. You'll see what I mean once I'm done. Strip this down, tin the wire, tin the shoe, tack the wire on. And just pull it down until we get it seated where we want it. Right about there like that. Oh, this guy pulled a little taut here. So this should pick up power now, except it would short out because we're not done here yet. So here's the lighting assembly. Now, if you've been following the comedy, it's the exact same circuit design I used for all the cars. The only difference is I omitted the center LED so that there's room for the bulkhead inside the car. As you can see, the car has this guy right here, so I want it to sit somewhere like that. I'm probably gonna have to trim out some of this so that it will sit nice in there. But as is the usual, I just want to glue that down on there now. So I gotta put Uno glob one side, Uno glob two side, and then carefully center it and shmoo it down. All right, so now we're gonna bring the wire around. I'm gonna give it a snip, same with the other side. See, that trick is the least amount of wasted wire by looping like that. So we got to get these silly little things stripped now too. All right, give us some tinning here. And then there's the contact pad where the wire is going to attach. Tack it on. So in theory now, this should work. It should pick up power from the track. It should light up. A little bit harder to get the wheels on now. All right, so let's get a piece of test track here. Yeah, there's a little bit more tension because something's rubbing, right? Let's electrify it here. Handy dandy 12-volt battery. Let's give the track some power. Haha, and there it goes. It's totally gonna work. That's actually not too bad. That system's like not anywhere near as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I could see myself, yeah, like I have a caboose that I wanna do. I have a couple cabooses I wanna do actually. Whether or not I'll get around to them. Not sure if I'll film them because it's nothing fancy. Just chuck it a couple LEDs. Probably gonna be the same damn thing I'm doing here. No blinky lights or anything. But yeah. The only other thing I want to do to make this car good is add some weight into it. But we got to get this shell to fit on over top. And then we might have to modify the windows, right? Because the shell's no longer going to fit over that now. And then I don't know if I'm going to get light out the windows because they're all funnel weird. So we got to trim a little out of this plastic piece without completely chowdering it. How to get a lateral cut there is going to be a challenge. Oh, I know. Nip at it with this. Huh, yeah, perfect. Now it fits on stock. So the question is, how much light do I get out of these windows now? Because that's the problem that I'm worried about. There's like a little bit, but it's not gonna shine anywhere near effectively. We need to mod on those windows, unfortunately. So this is where stuff starts to get a bit tricky. Question is, can I cut these windows down without losing them? My idea is to maybe use a hacksaw blade because we're gonna need something a bit abrasive. Because I want to get them close to the surface without like breaking them off. We'll be here all day like that. I really don't know if this is going to be a good idea. Not really, it's hard to control it. This lining up this cut is going to be really tricky. It's like I got to get this blade hovered at just the right height and level as possible. That's it. Oh yeah. That's good. This is gonna work great. Oh, and my finger almost touched the blade. It's almost like I gotta put the tool itself in a vise. Trying very many techniques here. I think speed's ultimately the answer here. Problem is, we got this blade that weeble wobbles too much. Okay, well, we got this one scored. Maybe I can just nip at it now. It's like we want to keep that bezel that's there. Actually, it feels like it's pretty soft. Yeah, I think nipping at these is ultimately the answer. You know, every now and then you want to see what it's like to kill a fly with a shotgun, but then it's just, you know, not practical in the long run. We can watch my nip factor through the window. Oh, this one wants to come loose. Don't come loose. All right, nipping for the win. Now I want to take me a sharp as frick utility blade, and I want to plane these down until they're like relatively flat. Because like right now, they're so uneven. All right, so now we have some proper flat window holes. This is good, this is good. We are almost done here. Now I'm just gonna do the good old fashioned classic, give me some pieces of clamshell. Pieces of clamshell and some Scotch tape. Gonna clean up a surface here real nice. Throw down a piece of clamshell window. Get an unscathed piece of Scotch tape. Stick it down over the window. Press it nice on there. Then get it over our hole. Now we have one of my classic Scotch tape clamshell windows. It's gonna catch the light. I got stuff just static clinging to me. It's sticky bits. Come on, sticky bits, get off. All right, 4 nice clamshell Scotch tape porthole windows. Now we just have to, you know it, put some reflective surface on there, directly above. There, got our reflectors. And then above those reflectors, a diffusion layer, which is the hardest thing to mount because Scotch tape doesn't stick to it very well. So that diffusion layer takes like the reflected light and scatters it. It actually makes quite a bit of difference. Just like putting the Scotch tape in the portholes. It catches the light instead of just, you know? Oh, diffusion layer looks like it's gonna stay there just like that. All right, now it's just a question of aiming our lights. So if we look at the alignment here, oh, it looks like we want them to be something like this. Beam it up like that. Beam it up like that. So now let's stick it on. All right, let's throw a little bit of power at it. Ready? Ah. Oh, it's a lot to be desired, but it's better than it was. So we will have lighted portholes. It's subtle, bud. It's subtle. I'm not gonna lie. It's not extreme, but it's there. It is there. So all that work for that little effort. Isn't that just grand? So this guy's done, ready to go. Now we're saving the beautiful train footage for the next video because there's one thing left to light up, and that's the B unit. I still have to design that circuit. Figure out how I'm gonna make it work. So stay tuned for that. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, well, I just told you to stay tuned already, bud, so stay tuned, man. I got a B unit to do. Sometimes I play with trains. If you like seeing me play with trains sometimes, stay tuned. It's as simple as that, bud. Yes, I don't know how to end my videos. Okay, sorry.